I've been asked these questions lately. Who do I want to be? How do I want to show up for myself? What type of woman am I? Typical Leo season reflections. All about you, all about your self-worth, all about examining and testing and feeling out who you are as a person. I'm nearing the beginning of my 30s in just a couple of months, and I feel a slight pressure with myself. Not anyone else, just me, myself. And because lately I've been feeling like I still have some work that needs to be done and chiseled, I want to tackle these questions. Also, now that I have healthier figures and experienced women in my life as my friends, I look up to them and observe their lifestyle, and I just see how at peace they are in their day-to-day and their groundedness. And I think to myself, how can I get to that? How can I achieve that level of confidence and self-worth to grow more into my life? I've seen time and time again that the people you surround yourself with are who you largely become as well. And I know this because I had toxic friends, therefore I was toxic. I made a lot of poor decisions, and I was with them for many, many years in my early 20s. Obviously, it's not all black and white. There were good times. And honestly, that's how it'll always be. And that's why it's hard to let them go in the first place. But at the end of the day, you have to do what's right and healthy for you, and really weigh out how much growth people bring to you or how much they shrink you. Hello, Venus Angels. Welcome back to another episode of Venus Cove, a show about all things astrology, spiritual, cultural, and introspection. Today, I am in a new environment, not in my normal closet studio. I had some difficulties today to get this out as early as possible, so I'm in the car. I'm in my car right now. I'm at one of my favorite parks, and yeah, just want to give some context with that in case you hear cars or airplanes, and I'll do my best to just pause and wait till it passes. But let's get back to the topic. So now that I have healthy role models, I like to take notes because they're all genuinely happy as far as I know. They don't come to me with problems, really. If anything, I'm the one going to them for help or advice. Or I don't know, maybe that's just adult energy where you kind of fix your own problems yourself and you don't really ask that much for help. I don't know. Maybe, is that healthy? I don't know. Is that empowering? Maybe. But I am the youngest one who's still going through her own trials and tribulations. And this is why I absolutely love getting older. The more I grow, the more I learn to do better for myself. I know the rest of the world has a pretty negative opinion on aging, but maybe that's because a lot of people do it wrong or do it toxically. You know, do it for the story that's going to sound cool in a few years and then end up reaping the consequences later. And I've done my fair share of quote-unquote cool stories before, and I can tell you, no one cares. In fact, you look crazy and unreliable and scary to be around, depending how intense your stories are. And I'm just really glad I didn't do anything too detrimental that has lasting effects in my life. I do know other people who have, though. But anyways, so my friends seem to have been doing it right in life for the most part. They took care of themselves, they worked on their dreams, they got healthy partners, or they're happily single, and they had their fair share of fun too along the way. And so I come at a near crossroads right now of figuring out what I want and how I want to show up as myself. I am becoming. And so there's a couple aspects of my life that I've been thinking about recently. My career, my artistic career, my relationships, and myself, which I think my most important one, and I think it should be with everyone, is the relationship we have with ourselves. Especially when times are tough, and how you show up for yourself, how you talk to yourself, how you sit with yourself, how you fight with yourself too. And at this moment, I'm going through another defending of myself, my honor, my boundaries. One of the hardest things for me to go through, because as a people pleaser, and only people pleasers know this, it's really, really hard putting yourself first over the comfort of others. My friends, God bless them, constantly remind me, especially when I have an uncomfortable look on my face, that I don't have to do something I don't want to, especially if I'm not ready. And it baffles me, to my surprise, when they, first of all, catch it, and second of all, speak it. It's almost like I've been hiding this discomfort, and they're not just gonna sit there and be okay that I'm not okay. They so happily walk me out of a situation that gives me anxiety. Whether it's at a bar or a bookstore, if I feel uncomfortable, they walk me out of the situation and we breathe together. It's amazing work, I tell ya. Miracles happen in these situations. If you have friends like that, pause the episode, pause it right now, and text them, "I appreciate you so much." That's someone who cares about you and not cares about how they look around other people. You have people who will be okay watching you fully anxious and won't do a thing about it. Run away from them, and don't look back. And so, even though I have a great support system, I want to make sure I'm also growing up with myself internally and showing up for myself when times are tough too. Oftentimes, I still put myself in sticky, uncomfortable situations, but I managed this week to set some boundaries and really stick with them, stick with my word. My sister told me that your boundaries are only enforced when you reinforce them. This is how you build trust with yourself more. Everyone else will just challenge them, but it's up to you to put your foot down. And if someone is constantly challenging your boundaries and you hear yourself repeating yourself over and over again, you might have to get out of that. You can repeat it once, twice, and even a third time, but honestly, the third time is kind of a red flag. Now it involves proving and showing that they got it. Honestly, if you have to repeat your boundaries a third time, it's kind of a wrap. Okay, yeah, sorry. I had to wait for an airplane to pass. But boundaries are so important to have. And it's not really for others, but it's more for yourself, because this is your identity forming. This is who you're going to become and show up as. What you're okay with becoming and what you're not okay with, what you won't accept. And honestly, this bleeds into anything you put yourself into. Relationships, careers, job environments. I'll give you an example. Let's say you grew up in a job environment that was really healthy and supportive. Boss loved you, everyone is equally acknowledged, and life is good. But all of a sudden, you have to move for whatever reason, and you find another job elsewhere. And you land in a job where everyone is kind of treated poorly, and everyone kind of expects that of each other, to also be treated poorly and rude, because that's just the way this job environment dynamic is. But you're used to being in a respectful work environment where everyone appreciates and helps each other and not blame or yell at each other. You know, you guys really work as a team. But now you're here in this new job, and you're put in this position where you observe this new dynamic and you have this decision to make. I can either just succumb to this behavior and say, well, hey, everyone gets treated badly here, and, I need this job, and I guess I just gotta suck it up, Or I could say no. I know my worth, and I've come from a healthy workplace. I know what healthy looks like, and I'm not gonna expect anything less than being respected in any workplace. I don't deserve this, and I will not be treated that way. And maybe you won't quit necessarily because you need this job, but you lay down your boundaries and how you want to be treated. But also, you don't have to teach people how to treat you. You're not out here being a teacher. If they don't know basic respect or boundaries, then that's a them problem. And I don't know, maybe start looking for a healthier workplace. But the point is, your most important and valuable relationship is with yourself and what you'll allow to slide. And the more you let slide, the more you won't trust yourself and your voice. Heck, maybe even you'll downplay your boundaries after a while and maybe think, oh, maybe I might be just being a little too, sensitive or something. I don't know, maybe you'll start letting it go, because I have seen it trickle down with others and myself. I'm telling you this from personal experience, and I've learned it the hard way, time and time again. And honestly, once things blow up in my face, I was always right in the end. I gave way too much benefit of the doubts, and people showed me who they really are. They weren't good, healthy people, and I knew that deep down. They weren't bad people. They weren't necessarily evil, but we just didn't align. They had their own way of living, and I had mine. We have different values, and that's okay. It's a hard pill to swallow sometimes, but I'm telling you, the hardest one is gonna be the one with you. It's always the most painful to realize, damn. Funny enough, a black cat is crossing my path. Oh my God, it's looking at me. Okay, that was very symbolic. Wow. I hope I don't get bad luck. But yeah, I should have listened to my inner compass. And as we continue on with Leo season, being that the full moon is tomorrow, I feel like Leo is illuminating more and more of reality for me and others, of what's really truth and honoring that. Leo is full of pride. Oh my God, this one girl scared me. Oh my God. It is 8:00 at night. Angels, it is 8:00 at night. Okay, moving forward. Leo is full of pride. And this is the one season that you should probably ask yourself, will you take pride in yourself? And then the second most important question is, why? Your why is everything here. Because if you don't know why, you're lost. Pride. Pride is a tricky thing. Pride has a negative and a positive connotation. Pride is beautiful because it's a feeling of deep pleasure or satisfaction derived from one's own achievements. That's the definition of pride. Ask yourself, what have you achieved to maintain this pride? Is it worth keeping? Or can you, or should you, make room for something more? It's beautiful, but also detrimental to possibly giving a new life a chance. Pride is to maintain your dignity, your lifestyle. Ask yourself, do you like this lifestyle that you've created? Do you like where this is going? If so, there's no need to let go of pride. You don't need to try something new. Don't let go of your boundaries. Stay true to them. But if there's a glimmer of sparkle to attempt a new way of living, because it feels a little scary, but also a glimmer of good, if you can make a new pride in this new way of being, if you can see yourself in the future, that it brings you honor and happiness and peace and love and much more of a concentrated person than one all over the place, try it. As I get older, I grew up with a very scatterbrained attitude of who cares, whatever, live fast, die young, kind of like the toxic hippie mentality. Musician, being all over the place with no home to really land on, metaphorically speaking. And that sounds so dreamy and nomadic and spiritually airy, very Libra. But I realized too that it's not as fulfilling as it sounds. Not for me. It was me kind of settling and not grabbing the universe by the balls and demanding some order, realizing my power that I can do more than this. And I'm someone who believes chaos and order coexist. And I want to live on the more orderly side now because I deserve it. And I can. I stopped spreading myself too thin, and I felt like I can clearly breathe again. I can think clearer and calmer and make rational decisions. I slip a little sometimes. I'm not perfect, but I'm working on it. And the more I do, the slow and steady wins the race path, the more I see my garden grow nicely and evenly and full and thicker. And you know what else? I'll admit, my garden isn't that big. But at least I can see everything that I'm growing. There's not a leaf I don't know in that garden. Patience is a virtue. But if you see it as a privilege, I hope you find the help and love you deserve. Patience is not just a waiting game, but it's an ability to wait for a better outcome and a more peaceful state of mind. The proverb means the ability to wait calmly in the face of delays, problems, or irritations. It's a good and valuable quality to have. I learned that recently, and even with my podcasts, I sometimes am just not able to do weekly or bi-weekly uploads, but trust that when I do pop up, it's gonna be good. And I cooked it with love and honor. But that's all I have for you today, angels. If you like this episode, I hope you guys got some good inspiration, maybe some insight, some introspection, and yeah, life is pretty interesting right now for me. And I hope you're all doing well and having a lovely last month of the summer. If you like this episode, please be sure to follow and share with a friend, maybe someone who's also going through a transformation of their own. Be sure to follow me on TikTok and YouTube at Augustin Venus, Instagram handle at My Life with Johanna, and that's all. We did it. Happy Friday. Happy full moon tomorrow. My name is Johanna, also go by August here at The Cove, and this is Venus Cove, signing off. Until next time, Venus Angels.